Welcome to a new day.
But we are still a little bit sick. We do still feel a little bit sick, so we are taking it easy, but that means we can plan our garden for this year. So we wanted to show you what like the rough plan is first, and then I'm gonna get all the seeds out, put them on the table, see what we have, and then see what the actual plan is gonna be. So it might change. And we didn't really want to go outside, so we're showing you from inside. So this is our backyard, and for like this area we want to clear it as much as we can and just leave it. So maybe hopefully someday we can have some flowers and grass there. And then with a veggie patch we are going to go that way. So this is our greenhouse, and then at the back of our greenhouse we also want a veggie patch. Basically, if you were here with us last year, it's kind of the same plan as last year. So we want to do stuff in the greenhouse, and then at the back of the greenhouse we want to make some other veggie patch things. And then I think we can show from the bedroom window best. So this is the view from the bedroom window. The greenhouse is that way. So the veggie patch is going to be at the back of the greenhouse, and then last year we had flowers in that area, and we want to put that with the veggie patch. So we're going to try and make a very big veggie patch there, which we will fence in somehow, which I'm going to figure out how we're going to do that. And then on the roundabout we have, you can't really see but because of all the snow, but this is a like a higher like flower bed thing, and I want to plant herbs there. I'm going to close the window first because it is kind of cold out there.
Yeah.
But it's also good to air out the house, so couldn't hurt to open this window a little bit. Put these back. Because we do have ice on these windows, and when that melts, it just trickles off the windowsill. So I just keep those there. The random solutions you think of when you have single pane glass, I guess. So that is the rough plan. A lot of vegetables and herbs, and then maybe some flowers at the back, but we'll see if that happens. And then I also want to figure out how expensive it is to keep some animals. But I don't think that's going to be this year. I really want some chickens, but I don't know if we're going to make that this year. I think the veggie patch is going to be a lot of work already, and then adding chickens, it might be too much. So we'll see. But I want to at least research and just have everything ready for when we do have the time and money to start animals. We have all the research done. That is what I want to do.
Yeah.
So let's go downstairs and do it. I laid everything out. These are a lot of seeds we have. So I'm gonna figure out what we have. And I think I'm gonna be extra and put them in an Excel sheet because, or in a numbers sheet, because I think that will be easier than having to keep looking what we have. So I think I'm gonna do that. And then I made a drawing on the iPad right here, which I can pop on the screen right now, which maybe will explain a little bit better what we want to do. So we do already have an elderberry, a rose bush, we have lilac in multiple places around the property, and we have some berry bushes. And then we also have thyme and lavender already in our middle of our roundabout bit. So we want to leave those and keep them growing. And then we have a big apple tree in the front, and then last year we planted some other things. We planted a walnut tree, a cherry tree, some other berry bushes in that area, so we want to keep them growing as well. And I don't know if they will, I mean the apple tree hopefully will give fruit this year, but the other things I don't think will give anything this year because they are tiny trees and tiny bushes, so those will take a couple years to give us fruit. So I think what I want to do is start planting in April in the greenhouse, and then plant everything out in May, and then also start planting just in the ground in May, because in our area, I think the last frost is going to be in March, maybe in April. So I want to make sure to not plant anything when there is still frost. But I also have to like check all the packets and see what's best. Because this is kale. And that you can direct sow from April to June. So yeah, I just have to figure out what is possible for our area as well. And then these packets, all these packets are just pot seeds. So these will say on the packet what I need to do. But then most of these are things we collected ourselves from things we grew or just from things we bought in the store. So I will have to Google a lot of those things as well. So I think I'm going to try and Google once and put everything in my Excel or numbers sheet. So we don't have to keep Googling, because that is also something that I've not been liking from gardening. I just keep Googling the same things. So I'm going to start and make my own like database of all the information I have on these seeds, so I can just look in my own number sheet to see what I need to do and when. So let's start that. And this one needs to charge. That's like the big downside of iPads. They need to charge a lot. I will get back to you once I have a little bit more to show you. And then one other thing is we do have a little bit of the plastic pots left. And in the shed we do also have some more plastic pots, but a lot of terracotta pots as well. And then I don't want to buy new plastic pots. So I'm gonna try to use any paper we have. So egg boxes, toilet paper rolls, and I'm just gonna plant stuff in there because I want to do this as plastic free as I can. And well, I do regret buying these plastic pots. We have them, so I might as well just use them this year and then never buy plastic pots again. So I'm gonna try and do this as plastic free as I can. And I'm also gonna research chickens, because I think that would be a good place to start with animals. And then also, I'm also gonna research a compost bin. So it's a lot of researching, and I will let you know what I come up with. And please give me all your tips in the comments below, because I need the tips. I need all the tips about any vegetable, any fruit, any flower that you've ever grown. Let me know what works best for you, and then compost what works. Let me know. I would love a very big discussion in the comments about this. That would be amazing. And then anything that's plastic free for your garden, because I really don't want to use plastic. So veggies is my thing. Compost, I need to figure out fencing, because we have a lot of wild animals and I don't want them to be able to get into our veggie patch. And we also have hares. So how are we going to do that? Okay, fencing. And then what did I say? Chickens. Chickens is what I want. And then the chickens also, I would love to keep close to the house. So not the foxes and stuff, they don't like to be around houses. So if we can keep chickens closer to the house, maybe they are less likely to attack the chickens. But then we also need like a coop and fences and everything for them. And then I would also love chickens against the ticks, because they eat ticks. And in the summer, ticks are all over the place in Sweden. And that's the very, very big downside of summer. All the bugs and especially the ticks, because they also carry diseases and we don't want those. So if we can keep chickens to keep the ticks down, that would be great. So chickens. But I think it might be too much for this year. I really want chickens though. Let me know in the comments if I need to do chickens anyway. Just go for it. Because I want to. Okay, so veggies, compost, chickens and fencing. That is my main research goals for this afternoon. And I'm back. It's dark outside. I've been here for...
So long?
too many hours. And I have a lot of notes. But I think I am almost there. But it's dark outside now, so I can't actually go and see and measure stuff. So we try to measure stuff with Google Maps, but that's never accurate. So we have to go out and measure stuff. So I think we could pretty much stick to the original plan.
Really?
Yes. Made a new one, which is this, which I will pop up on the screen right now. It's a bit of a chaotic plan,
Yeah.
but I know what it says.
Okay. As long as you know what it says, it's fine by me.
So then the veggie patch would be that, and then we would plant all that. But if we want it this big, we need a lot of soil. Loosen a lot of soil.
Yeah.
And that because it's pretty dense. We tried to loosen a lot of soil there last year.
But the boars did some.
Yeah, the boars did help a little bit. That is true. But we tried to do that, and yeah, that was a lot of work. So
but it was a dry period, so.
Yeah. Maybe if we started as early as we can and see how far we can get, that would help. But I think you don't need the whole patch with new soil. You only need the bits where you actually are going to plant stuff.
Yeah.
And with like this amount of space, you can plant a lot. And I don't think I have enough to plant all of that space.
Let's see about that.
I mean, we have enough, but I don't know if I want to plant that much, because then it's also a lot of work to maintain.
Yeah.
So.
You want a garden?
Yes, I do, but I don't want to. I mean, we did last year. We started very small, and that was already big for me.
Yeah.
So this would be huge, and I'm a bit scared. But I do want to do it.
But
I really want to do it.
You have the live streams now, the daily video.
Yeah.
So.
We can do a lot of live streaming in the garden.
Yeah.
And that sounds very fun to me. We can even do a daily live stream in the garden.
Yeah.
Just like every evening do an hour in the garden. Or every morning do an hour in the garden.
Why not?
That would be really fun. So, I don't know. Maybe I am just going to go for it. But we do need a lot of soil. So, if you have any idea where we can buy soil the cheapest, if it's in a big bag or anything, truckloads, I don't know how it works here. We really don't know how it works. So if you have any information about that, let us know in the comments, because buying those 40-liter bags from Grand Gordon is not going to work, I think, because ChatGPT was helping me calculate, and you would need like 150 bags.
There are a lot of trips to the garden.
Yes, that's a lot of trips. And then that's also like 7,000 kroners of soil. And if you buy it in bulk, it can be a lot cheaper. We don't need that much. That's a 300 square meters. You would need 150 bags to have a 2 centimeter layer. So just to improve your soil. Yeah. But you don't need 300 square meters because you don't need all of it. I would say we would need about 50 bags. And that's still
a lot.
2,000 kroners. So it's a lot of money. But you also get a lot of vegetables, so is it worth it? And then I really, 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 really want to do my own compost, so we don't have to keep buying soil. Yeah. So we can just improve the soil we have and not having to buy soil every year. Yeah. And then I have a fencing thing. Fencing? Yeah. I was thinking of the fencing. The fence off the veggie patch, we do have to do that. And that's going to be a lot of work mainly, but we did buy stuff last year as well. Yeah. So we can use that, so that will also save some money. And then chickens, I looked up chickens. And the startup cost would be around 4,000 to 5,000 kroners, which is not crazy for 5 chickens. Full-grown chickens. Yeah. Not chicks. And then the coop and food and bedding and fencing and like a run for the chickens. would be around
Yeah,
4,000 to 5,000 kroners.
we can make
That's
it
fine.
cool.
Yeah,
No,
that,
roastery.
that would be nice. Yeah. I've been researching, and then I've been researching compost, and also, I don't know how to pronounce it, vermicomposting with worms,
Oh, yeah.
which sounds really fun. I don't know, it just
Sounds cool.
sounds cool
Yeah.
and fun to me. And you get very rich soil from that.
Yeah.
And it only takes 2 to 3 months instead of the 2 to 6 months from the compost bin.
Yeah.
And probably the compost bin would be ready next spring, because it might not be completely ready in summer or fall and then you don't really need it. So you would need it in spring next year. And then if you do with the worms, it's ready in summer when you would need a bit more like nutrition into your soil. So the worms would be around 400 400 kroners. And then all the other things we can repurpose.
Yeah.
Probably. And the compost bin as well. We can repurpose stuff that we already have. So the compost bin is free, kind of, but just takes a lot of time. And the worms, but I don't know where to buy worms.
No.
Because I did it with ChatGPT and that's not very accurate. So I need to research that more. But what do you think? Do you want worms? And then if you do them inside, it's warmer, so they're faster. But I don't know if I want a worm, just a bin of worms inside.
No.
I don't know if I want that.
No.
But it is faster if you do it.
Yeah.
You can even do it in an apartment.
Oh. Okay. Didn't know that.
No.
Thanks a lot.
So, I've done a lot of research. And this is what we want to plant. This area here. Or what I want to plant.
Yeah.
You have nothing to do with this. This is the first time he's hearing it, like you.
Yeah.
So this is the stack I want to plant. And the only thing that we need to, what was the name? Stratify. Is the blueberry. Because we harvested some blueberry seeds from blueberries and they need stratification. So we would need to do that now because it needs like 6 weeks in the fridge.
Oh, 6 weeks.
Yeah.
I was thinking more like 6 days.
No, 6 weeks in the fridge. So we need to do that now so you can plant them in the greenhouse in May and then plant them out in June.
Okay.
That's just an experiment because they're not very true to seed.
No.
So it's just an experiment. And then it takes years and years and years till you get blueberries from a seed.
Do we have this?
No, because that one was good until 2026.
Yeah.
And all the some of the other ones were good until 2022.
Carrots?
I have carrots, yes. So we're adding kale.
Do we want that kale or this kale?
I don't care. They're both okay. I don't know what the difference is. What's the difference? They're both kale. What's the difference, Pixel? Do you know? We need that one? Okay. Pixel pick that one. I do have beets. I have 2 packets of beets. Okay, kale. And then I also have a whole spreadsheet of all the seeds we have. So I've been busy. And then I also color coordinated stuff, so I know what I want to plant. So I have a rough plan, and all of this, or most of it, is going to go directly into the soil in May.
Yeah.
So March and April, we're going to have to work hard to get the soil ready for planting. And maybe by then we've made a bit more money, so we can actually do it properly or better.
Yeah.
But we need to get the soil ready and do fencing.
Okay.
We did just hear your parents are coming at the end of April. Maybe they want to help. Do you want to help? We know you watch these videos. Do you want to help?
I know they want to help.
Yeah. They've already said they would help, but yeah, it's a lot of work. And I hope we are very far when they get here.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
We will see what winter does.
Yeah, it also depends on how long this snow lasts.
Yeah.
The snow needs to go so we can start doing stuff.
There was a big yawn, Pixel.
Yeah, a very big yawn. I'm sitting on my headphones. I've done a lot of planning, researching, writing.
And I set up a lot of stuff for live streaming.
Nice.
Think we can test it.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Okay. Is that going to be like a live stream? Or?
No, private live stream.
Okay. I do want to do the blueberry today, now-ish. Seeds. Blueberry seeds. Sounds like there are a lot in there.
Yeah.
So they need to be on a paper towel, like a wet paper towel.
Wet?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. On a wet paper towel and then in a plastic bag and then they go in the fridge. Not even the freezer. They need 1 to 4 degrees, but the fridge is like 7. But I don't know. But that's what ChatGPT said, so let me Google that. How to stratify blueberry
Pixel.
seeds. Yeah, that's plastic. 30 to 120 days. 90 days being ideal. So it's now the 8th of February. I'm gonna ask chat.
Yeah.
It's the 8th of February. What is 90 days from now? The 9th of May. So that's perfect.
Yeah.
So we will put these in the fridge right now.
Pixel.
And then we can...
She's effing up the live stream.
Oh, no live stream. She has food. What do you want? Do you want cuddles?
Oh, pizza.
Do you want cuddles? Cuddle me! Hello. She might have wanted cuddles.
Yeah.
So we will stratify the blueberries, and then we can sow them beginning of May in the greenhouse, and then the end of May we can plant them out into the garden. You're not going anywhere. You're staying with me.
I like your plan.
And then all the other things we can sow directly, except for the oregano. That needs to go in the greenhouse first as well.
Oh, your water. She was in the mug.
Why? No water for me? Was she actually in there?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't mind her sniffing it, but if she's actually in there with her face, then that's not the best. And then I also have flowers. I have poppy seeds, I have
none of those
pansies,
stratification.
chamomile, marigolds, and sunflower, and they don't need stratification.
And good?
No, but a lot of seeds need to be soaked.
Soaked.
So these ones with like the hard shell, they need to be soaked for 8 to 24 hours.
But it worked last year.
Yeah, it does work, but it has less chance of working.
Okay.
So if you soak them, it's better. So the shell is less hard, so it's easier for them to germinate. Yeah. And that's with a lot of seeds, like the harder seeds.
It's your cat.
What is she doing?
She's firewood. She's playing for firewood.
Pick up. What are you doing? Okay. Let's get this into a moist bag.
Yeah.
And then make pizza. Surprise, we're eating pizza tonight. I put the blueberries on a moist towel in a plastic bag. Seems a bit weird to me, but that is the seeds, and now we have to find a space in the fridge for them. And there they go, on top of the film we need to use. Bye, blueberry. See you
we still have Polaroids.
See you in 90 days. Polaroids?
Oh. Polaroids.
Yeah. We still have Polaroid.
Cool.
Nice. Bye. See you in 90 days. You might be able to tell that I am pretty excited for the garden for this year. So let me know what you think about my plans. And that is going to be it for today. So see you tomorrow.